All people adored the Beatles because they were a groundbreaking band that experimented with a wide range of musical styles. One disastrous afternoon, however, brought about a turn of events. An altercation with Paul McCartney was the spark that set George Harrison over the edge, despite the fact that tensions were already building up among the other members of the band. Harrison, who was well known for his practice of transcendental meditation, decided that it would be best to leave the band before proceeding. He sat down at his desk later that day to jot down a little item in his diary, which, at the present time, is regarded as a significant note for fans of the Beatles. John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr were all working on their song, Get Back, this afternoon. Ringo Starr was also a member of the band. Twickenham Film Studios was the location where they were practicing, and a camera was there to record both of them. The Beatles' music publisher Dick James paid a visit to the band at that location. During his visit, he discussed the recent acquisition of the Lawrence Wright music catalog by Northern Songs with Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr, as reported by Beatles Bible. McCartney then proceeded to perform a number of piano tracks for James, some of which included The Long and Winding Road, Let It Be, Maxwell's Silver Hammer, Don't Let Me Down, and I've Got a Feeling. The group then began working on the song, Get Back. In spite of this, Harrison left the group after lunch because he was unable to tolerate the tensions that were building up inside of him personally. The entry in the diary that was dated January 10, 1969 was written by the Quiet Beatle later that day while he was sitting at his desk. In the entry, Harrison detailed his experiences and the events that transpired on that particular day. This is what he wrote: I got up and went to Twickenham, continued to practice till midday. After parting ways with the Beatles, I went home and then went to Trident Studio to record King of Fog one evening. Following that, I went home and had some chips at Klaus and Christine's house. This entry from the journal was later included in the book Living in the Material World written by Olivia Harrison, who is the widow of George Harrison. The book was eventually released in 2011. The fact that the legendary quartet would disband just 7 years after the release of their debut album was something that none could have reasonably anticipated. Many people believe that the dissolution of the Beatles was caused by the passing of their manager, Brian Epstein, on August 27, 1967. However, some believe that the reason for the dissolution was legal fights, as stated in history. Glyn Johns, a sound engineer, was also present in the studio on the day that Harrison announced his decision to leave the band.